even during something as difficult and challenging as a pandemic, I believe that it's really important for us to keep our sense of humor. I certainly mean no disrespect to anyone when I say this, but it's the sense of humor can allow us to survive something that's as difficult as this COVID-19 crisis. There's many TV shows that are about hospitals. A lot of these are dramas that are set in the emergency room. But I think that maybe we could have like a sitcom set in a waiting room. I say this just from my own experience. I was in a waiting room and I have my mask on. And you know that when you have a mask on, you need to raise your voice and you need to yell just so that people can hear you through the mask. And there was a man walking toward me who, for many reasons, he couldn't hear what I was saying. And so I was giving my response and basically almost yelling through this mask. And he still couldn't hear me, so he's getting closer to listen to what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, sir, you need to keep 6 feet back. And it was silly. Because he's getting closer and closer, and I'm telling him to get further and further back, and I'm raising my voice. Now, I didn't want him to stay away from me because I was afraid that he was going to make me sick, like if he had COVID. But, I am around many COVID patients, and I don't want to make him sick. But maybe I was thinking all the people in the waiting room were thinking, wow, this mean and scared priest, this poor guy. So, but God understands. And then there was another situation. There's a person who is trying to get into the hospital, into the emergency room, and it seemed clear to me that he needed a wheelchair. But everyone in the emergency room was faced toward the room and they weren't looking out the window, and I'm the only one looking out the window. So I see this person who needs help. So I say, hey, look at this person. And no one noticed him. And I said, there he is. And they still couldn't see him. So I said, all right, I'll bring him a wheelchair. So I bring him a wheelchair. There's another person. And there was this pause where I'm bringing him the wheelchair where it seemed pretty clear that I was supposed to be the one to push him inside. But I am thinking, well, I don't want to stay around them because I've been around COVID patients. And so it just seemed like maybe the other person who was now going to push them said, oh, this is a lazy priest. I just didn't want to maybe expose them to COVID if I myself had been exposed. And I know you're saying, well, Father Mike, you should have done this. But that's the whole point of a situational comedy. When you're watching it, you might know the answer and the character doesn't. And that's kind of why it's funny. But you know what? The Lord Jesus is watching over all of us. And when we are scared and we're confused and we don't do the right thing in the situation, He's there to help us and He loves us. So let's try to have a healthy sense of humor even when we are close to being crushed by so many of the difficult things in our lives. And to make sure that we keep this healthy sense of humor, let's keep praying for each other. God bless.